do have a few minutes for some questions. So I want to start, and of course, each of you, your thoughts on this. And perhaps we can start with Doron and then move on to Doug and then Joel. What do you think are the most common mistakes and gaps of organizations in their ransomware strategy? I know you talked about this a little bit and how they should start addressing them, and if we could drill down on some more specifics there.
So I'll take two and then leave more to others. And we've touched upon most of them today. I think that the first notable issue is that there is no clear ownership and no clear vision. If you want to protect and make sure you're recoverable, you should take a holistic view into where your data lives. Who owns it? It's not just IT security. What is the role of the InfoSec team? And in my belief, the InfoSec team should provide guidance and define the policies and define the expectations. And the IT operations teams should make sure they are deployed and perhaps even report on actual versus requirements. So make sure you have clear recommendations and clear requirements. A lot of the organizations we work with do not have clear frameworks. So it's no wonder they might have gaps in securing their storage and backup. And you have a lot of resources to consult with, as we have pointed out. And the other thing is to regularly validate the posture of your security environment. Don't just make sure don't just run it once. Don't just analyze it once. Do it continually. And I'm sure my colleagues will have more advice. So maybe Doug?
Yeah, happy to jump in, Doron. So I'll go with three. So I'll see your two and raise you one, but I'm going to reiterate one of yours. So number one, build an air gap. Remember 3-2-1. The number of times that I've seen a customer actually not one of our customers, but one of our people that we've been called in to try to help that was unable to recover because they did not have an air gap copy. It's just so simple. Build an air gap, keep it off site, 3-2-1, remember it, love it, learn it, etc. So that's number one. Number two, I'll reiterate what you said, Doron, but I'll say it a little bit differently. Stay current. These advanced threats are ever adapting. So it's not enough to scan today and assume you're covered. You have to scan constantly, and you have to be on top of the current capabilities of your data protection and security solutions. Always stay current. In the data protection space, we haven't really had to stay current. This wasn't really our thing. The security guys all understand this, but the data protection guys, they're okay with annual upgrades. That no longer works. You have to stay current. These advanced threats are evolving every day. So stay current, keep scanning, always be alert. And then the third thing that I would say is kind of reiterating one of Doron's other points is I'll have a clear ownership, test. Your plan doesn't work if you've never tested it. Make sure you're constantly testing, go through the evolution, make sure you're always ensuring that your plan will actually help you recover in the event. So always test. That'll help you uncover areas where you don't have a clear owner, where there's technology gaps, and where things have changed that you weren't aware of. So definitely test. So those are my big three: air gap, stay current, test.
Yeah, and I have just one, which is good because I think we're almost out of time, and that is to automate as much of this as possible, and to find opportunities to integrate with existing tools that you use in your organization, because this, most people these days are doing more than one job, right, in IT, and this, without automation and integration, this might become another full-time job, and it's a really important thing to do. So I would say look for opportunities to, it's great to put the process in place, but look for opportunities to simplify this and automate it in your environment.
Thank you so much. One quick question. In the few very brief moments that we have, I do want to get to an attendee wanting to know your thoughts on government and regulatory bodies and their response to the growing number and sophistication of ransomware attacks, and how should these regulatory bodies respond? Do either of you have thoughts on that?
Well, I'll get started on that. I think the U.S. government, as an example, has responded rapidly with the executive order by President Biden that requires all organizations within the U.S. federal government to report their posture and to step through their levels of preparedness on a time-bounded way. And I think, that's starting in the federal space, and there is an anticipation that that will emerge into the corporate world very quickly. So I do think, not only do the regulators have a role to play here, but they are actively starting to play that role, as evidenced by the executive order.